Hello and welcome to Beyond Reproach. I'm Stephanie Domingo.
And I'm Tux Lerzel.
We come to you from Bushwick, Brooklyn, where we record on land belonging to the Lenape Nation that is one of many still very much out here doing its thing, and we'd like to acknowledge that.
We sure would.
This is the show about scandals and scandalousness in American politics and government. We be drinking, we be swearing.
And we be having some guests today.
This is a very special episode. We have two lovely, nerdy women with us. We are graced by their presence. IRL, y'all.
I know, like people, people across the table.
Face,
There are 4 extra eyes in this room right now.
Yes.
I feel this is great. So we have the host of Well, That's Interesting podcast. We have Jille ChaCha.
Hello.
And Marisa Riley.
Hi.
They host a comedy sciencey show for people who like to learn weird shit.
That's right. Yeah. That is right.
Real weird.
Real weird.
Learn weird shit.
That's right.
That.
You've probably heard their promo. Their show is incredible. Definitely check them out. You're welcome, everyone.
Oh,
This is going to be great.
You know what? Thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
Yes. This is incredible.
We're
Y'all
so
are
excited
amazing.
to have you here.
So good to be here. So excited to imbibe and talk about really weird, awful shit.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So today we are drinking, you're going to be telling us a story from California in the 1950s. So I decided this was the perfect time to kind of go back and revisit tiki cocktails.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We first discussed tiki, like the history of tiki cocktails in episode 21, South Pacific Sadness.
Every time we drink like a fruity, delicious cocktail, some awful thing is about to unfold.
Yeah,
So
I always tell the worst stories with the fruitiest, most delightful
It's
cocktails.
like a trick. Like I feel like I have PTSD when I see fruity things. I'm like, what have you done?
Yeah.
What are you going to tell me about?
That episode was about the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, that's a rough one. That's,
You
not
need a fruity
good.
drink for that one.
And we paired it with 2 different versions of Mai Tai. There's like an older sort of original version and then the more sort of current contemporary version that everyone knows today.
Yeah.
In that episode, I talked about how there were 2 men who were credited with creating the whole like tiki phenomenon in the United States. Today, we're going to be focusing on one of the 2, Victor Bergeron. Victor Bergeron and his restaurant in Oakland, California called Trader Vic's. We're going to be talking about a communal punch bowl cocktail called the Scorpion Bowl. According to Bergeron's 1946 book, Trader Vic's Book of Food and Drink, he was inspired to create this cocktail in the late 1930s after going on a trip to Honolulu. While he was there, he went to a luau and he was served a cup of a traditional Hawaiian punch called a scorpion. He said this traditional Hawaiian punch was made with Hawaiian moonshine called okalehau. Along with a handful of other ingredients like orgeat, mint, and a combination of fruit juices. He especially loved the fact that it was served in a big communal punch bowl, and they were like, I guess, dipping it out in hollowed out coconuts. You would like drink it out of a hollowed out coconut. So he was really impressed with the way the punch was being served, was really excited about it, and he got inspired and decided to go back to Oakland and try and recreate this, what he believed was a traditional Hawaiian punch, but he used rum instead of okalehau because he couldn't get it in the U.S.
Fair.
The only problem with this story is that there's no such traditional Hawaiian punch as Scorpion. It did not, there never was a traditional Hawaiian punch called a Scorpion.
What?
Yeah,
That's so American.
Yeah.
Just make it up and sell it.
So this cocktail historian went back and was trying to like verify this story because he read it in Vic Bergeron's book. It was like, he says that this is what happened. I got to figure it out. He dug back through like old bar menus in Hawaii, recipe books, people's like diaries, letters, travel memoirs, all sorts of things. There was never any mention of a punch called the Scorpion.
Incredible.
Just when he was about to be like, okay, so Trader Vic is full of fucking shit.
Yeah.
He's a complete liar. He actually found a reference to it in a gossip column from 1938. And this column even sort of gave the recipe for the punch.
So he stole it.
But what it was really going on, there was a but, and it was a big but. Far from being a traditional Hawaiian beverage, It turned out that the scorpion was actually something that Hawaiian surfers had kind of created to sell to tourists.
Of course.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, there were these guys that would like sit on the
That
beach
tracks.
and they would get paid to like teach tourists how to surf or like take them out in a boat in the, on the ocean. So they started selling this beverage, called it a scorpion. We're like, it's a traditional Hawaiian beverage. And all these tourists are like, yes, you can separate me from my money now. Yeah.
Good for them, though. Making that
That's so
buck.
smart.
Yeah.
Take advantage of us.
Totally. Yeah.
Please.
So whether Vic Bergeron knew that it was a fake or he was fooled or he totally was like, that's not authentic, but nobody has to know. We don't know that, but we do know that he took this back to Oakland and it became sort of an instant classic in tiki culture.
Wow.
And now it's served in tiki bars around the world. The recipe that we're drinking today was published in his book in Oakland in 1946.
What?
Which also might be why it became such an instant classic, because this was just as all these GIs were coming back from the South Pacific and were really into all this like tropical islandy stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when the west coast of the US kind of got whipped up into this like tiki frenzy. Over the years, Bergeron continued to tweak the recipe, simplify it, perfect it. So if you order a scorpion bowl at a tiki bar today, you're not going to get the recipe that we are drinking, because this was the 1946 recipe that we would have been drinking in California in the 1950s.
Fun.
I love it.
But there was another recipe published in 1972 that is much simpler, has a lot fewer ingredients. And that's sort of like what everybody drinks today.
Gotcha.
Is a much later recipe.
No, we're here for the real shit.
I want the more ingredients.
Totally. Yeah.
I want
Take
it all.
my money.
Yeah. This recipe from 1946 originally served 12 people.
Whoa.
Yeah. It would come in like a huge bowl with 20-inch straws. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. You get hammered and some sort of infection.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Later on, they invented like these ceramic bowls that serve 4 people. And they have this sort of little elevated ceramic shot glass in the middle that looks like a volcano. You fill it with overproof rum and light it on fire. So it looks like the volcano in the center of your drink is literally on fire. This recipe would have been in this big punch bowl, and he would have decorated it with fresh fruit on top and gardenias.
Oh.
Yeah, there was always gardenias floating in the punch bowl.
That is a gay drink. I love
Yeah,
it.
I know. Totally.
So
Yeah.
gay.
Yeah. Of course, it is spring in New York City. We don't have any gardenias. So we've got citrus wheels and mint and some edible flowers that I found at Wegmans.
And it is
Amazing.
stunning. I was
Yeah.
saying I want to take this home and like
Yeah.
display it on the wall somehow or something.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Should we try it?
Yes.
I know
Yes.
we've been sitting here like looking at it this whole time.
All right, here we
I'm
go.
scared I'm going to ruin it.
When I was a kid at school learning the golden rule, teacher often used to say, if you don't tell a lie, there's not a reason why you can't be like Washington someday. How could Washington be a married man and never, never tell a lie?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The full recipe called for a bottle and a half of
Yes.
Puerto Rican rum.
Yes, please.
Yes, a bottle and a half. Lemon and orange juice, mint, white wine. And for some reason, it has this teeny tiny amount of gin and brandy. There is, after a bottle and a half of rum,
Oh my
there's
God.
2 ounces of gin.
We're going to die.
What is that?
Like when you do the math and divide it by 12 servings, everyone gets 1 teaspoon of gin in the cocktail.
So fancy.
So like,
is
what's the point?
I think it's to make us angry.
Yes.
I don't know.
Someone starts the fight.
Yeah,
That's gin.
We had this mezcal cocktail a few years ago, and there was like just a little bit of gin in it. We
Yeah.
were like, why is this? And then later that night, we were both like yelling. We were like,
We got into our first couples fight because
God.
of that gin. Yeah.
it was over chicken too. We were trying to cook chicken. And we were like, what is going on? And it was we blamed it on the gin.
Yeah,
It was
that's
totally
fair.
gin.
Hopefully, just having a little teaspoon of gin in the cocktail is not going to not send you over the edge. Yeah.
I'll keep it together.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the scorpion
It's
bowl.
incredible.
It's so fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's healthy because of the fruit.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Let's go with that one.
it's like a salad.
it's a fruit salad.
Tonic for our vitality.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yay.
Take it away.
Oh
Tell
my
us
God.
about
Yes.
California in the
Yes, we are
1950s.
here for a story. So I guess a little let me do like a little intro into this story.
Please, yeah.
For our dear listeners. So, Dr. Stephanie and Dr. Tux.
Oh my God.
That's right, honorary doctors.
Tell your parents.
Yeah, y'all reached out to us after listening to a previous episode of Well, That's Interesting, episode 056. So if folks out there haven't had a listen, please do. It's a bonkers fucking story that involves everything from terrible disguises to the Church of Scientology acting as a whistleblower.
It was a good time.
That's how crazy the story is. Scientology looks good in that story. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. I'll give us a little recap. It's a segue into today's story, but I'm not going to give too much away because, please, everyone, I'm plugging our show here. So yeah. Clearly, go back and listen. Basically, in 1966, the CIA contracted a 21-person team to release biological agents within the New York City subway system during rush hour over several days.
Yep, real thing.
Oh my God.
Real thing that happened. And in classic American military-industrial complex fashion, the purpose was to see how quickly a bioagent spreads in a city with a transit system.
Oh my God.
Let's just test New Yorkers.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Not a big deal. And if you're wondering if the people of New York had any idea this was taking place, no, they didn't. No, neither did senators or anyone outside of the CIA. Nobody knew. That's right. And I have more good news. This wasn't the first or last time biological experiments on American civilians took place without their knowledge, which brings us to today's story. Yes, my friends. Today, we're going to be talking about what sounds like a body axe deodorant. It's called Operation Sea Spray. Or
So douchey.
so douchey. Or as I like to call it, that time the U.S. government gassed the good people of San Francisco.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Not San Francisco. Oh no.
New York is fine.
Yeah.
We can handle whatever.
We're built different.
San Francisco, though, they're a little softer. Before we begin, Dr. Stephanie, Dr. Tux, Dr. Marisa, what do you know about the Nuremberg Code?
Oh,
Had to do with Nazis?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think that's all I know.
I know about the trials. I don't know the
maybe.
code exactly.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, exactly. It was written up in 1947 after all of the fucking horrific experiments performed by the dipshit Nazis were revealed. And its goal was to establish a set of rules for the ethical conduct of research when using human subjects. Two main takeaways of the code. One, participation must be voluntary with informed consent.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, right? And two, no experiment can be performed that will cause injury or death.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Wow.
so those are two
Okay.
takeaways. Sorry to bring down the room.
They had to write that down.
Yeah.
It was needed.
I
Okay.
Yeah. So it should come as no surprise that just 3 years after the Nuremberg Code was created, the U.S. government broke this international agreement. So-
Oh my God.
I like how it's so embarrassing to be an American all the time.
Yeah.
Just constant embarrassment.
Oh, us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're consistent.
Yes, absolutely. It's
We are.
not a surprise at all. that we do this.
Predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's head on back in time to a year no one in this room would be accepted, 1950.
Yes.
Truly, yes.
It is the end. It's the end of September 20th to be exact, and we're 2 miles off the coast of the beautiful city of San Francisco. We're standing on the deck of a U.S. Navy minesweeper,
Oh dear.
which will, for the next 6 days, yes, you heard me, 6 days, will be releasing the bacteria sriracha.
Sriracha?
Sriracha from giant hoses, producing a kind of bacterial fog that will easily meld with the city's famous mist.
Wow.
Just,
It's devious.
This sounds like a horror movie or my favorite kind of movie, a Marvel movie.
There you go.
I find a way to bring up Marvel in every
I
single
also
episode.
love the MCU.
Oh my
And
God,
I judge
really?
myself harshly for
I
it.
do. I made her watch Endgame the other night just
I'm
for
okay.
funsies.
I cried.
It makes us cry.
I cried
every
every
time.
Well, when I guess we could talk spoilers. I don't know. It's been out for a while, but when Iron Man dies, man,
Oh yeah, no,
I cried.
And
I
the
have
dance at the end kills me when Cap finally gets to dance with his lady.
Oh yeah, I definitely got misty there. Yeah,
Anyways, back to the mist.
okay.
to the other mist.
So I know what you're thinking. What the fuck is sriracha?
Yeah.
Well, Okay. It's not to be confused with the hot sauce sriracha. No.
I was trying to figure out what that sounds like.
And believe it or not, there's a good chance you've seen sriracha in your home.
Great.
Yeah.
Another anxiety. Thanks, Jill.
And I'm pretty sure you never thought to ingest it because it looks fucking gross and it's a bit scary. Dr. Marisa, please tell us a little bit about our gloopy friend, sriracha. It's gloopy.
Great. Love me something gloopy. Okay. According to discovermagazine.com, quote, the bacteria thrives in wet environments and may be seen forming pink streaks, this is already so gross, on the insides of shower curtains and along toilet bowls in homes.
Yes, it happens in my toilet bowl and in the dog water bowl if we don't wash it.
There you go.
Yeah,
In
it
the
turns
dog
pink.
water bowl?
Yeah.
Just a heads up to our listeners, we are with the two cutest dogs, and I'm so scared to continue this quote thinking about their water bowl.
Yeah. So now I know, like, I have to wash the water bowl at least once a week. Like, wash, with hot water and soap, or it will turn pink.
Oh, no.
There you go.
Continuing the quote, these water-dwelling microbes, great, have one very neat party trick. The manufacture of red pigment known as prodigiosin.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. This color ranges from a lurid vermillion to a washed out pink, depending upon the microbe's age. This unique property, I know, right? The word vermilion is like making my
word.
fashion things tingly. This unique property has been regularly exploited in microbiology as a biological marker tracking metabolic behavior and transmission of bacteria in various environments. For this reason, the microbe is an ideal tool for such work. It's a showy microbe that naturally flies a very noticeable red flag. End quote. Jill, I'm stressed and confused. What's going on here?
Okay.
Is it harmful?
Yeah.
That's a good question. We will definitely get to that.
Okay, yeah.
But it's red. It's this. They can track it easily.
Yeah.
Because it's red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
I mean, basically, the stuff that grows on toilets was sprayed over San Francisco, and it was chosen thanks to its natural pigment. And San Francisco was chosen thanks to it being a densely populated area.
Wow.
Is that why the bridge is red?
A shit ton of bacteria. That is a good point, man. Holy shit. Yeah, that's all I'm going to think about. That's all I'm going to think about. San Francisco was chosen because it was a densely populated area within close proximity to an ocean. Now, you put these two things together and you have yourself an easy experiment to see just how quickly a biological attack spreads along a coastline, which is what they were trying to figure out. So, prior to the release, 43 monitoring systems were placed around the city. And boy, howdy, their data didn't disappoint. Sriracha was blown all over San Francisco and extended to the adjacent communities of Albany, Berkeley, Daly City, Colma, Oakland, San Leandro, and Sausalito. A lot of places.
Yeah.
It blew all the fuck over. It's estimated over 6 days. A staggering 800,000 people, unbeknownst to them, breathed in millions of particles, making it, to this day, still one of the largest human experiments in history.
Damn.
This is madness.
Yeah. Round of applause.
But what does it do? Are they okay?
Okay. That's great.
These are people's grandparents?
Yeah.
Parents?
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine how accomplished these U.S. government agents felt when those numbers rolled in. But in fact, we don't have to imagine because all we have to do is read the report.
Oh.
Boy.
Dr. Marisa, please do us the look on Stephanie's face.
I am so just horrified by all of this. I have so many questions, but yeah, I'm gonna.
Stephanie loves a declassified report.
I do.
Too. It's her.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
CIA fuckery is like my bread and butter.
It's
But
so
I haven't heard about
wild.
this one.
Yeah.
Dude, they do all kinds of stuff to us that we don't know about. It's really, I sound like I should be wearing a tinfoil hat or something. They're coming to get us, but...
Let's get into it. Dr. Marisa, please do us the honor and tell us, what did the U.S. government learn from gassing their people? And tell us, would they do it again?
Great.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Okay, from 1951, Operation Sea Spray military report, quote, it was noted that a successful biological warfare attack on this area can be launched from sea, and that effective dosages can be produced over relatively large areas. Sriracha is so rarely a cause of illness, and the illness resulting is predominantly so trivial that its use as a stimulant should be continued even over populated areas. End quote.
What is this?
Continued.
Should be.
What is a stimulant?
Like maybe it can be used to spread
Simulate
an
attack, I guess.
simulate.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
Like to simulate a more dangerous
Yeah. Just keep it
biological
going.
weapon. Wow. Well, that makes me feel better that now that I know that I find it in my dog's water bowl sometimes and it's not dangerous.
Well,
They're very vague on that topic. Rarely cause of illness.
I mean, is breathing in a glowing red bacteria really trivial? This is the question, and the answer is no. The answer. Remember, this was 1950, 1951. This was a time when doctors were advertising the health benefits of cigarettes, and we were smoking on planes. So, so at the time, everything was trivial.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So, unfortunately, reality set in pretty quickly after this 6-day escapade. Dr. Marisa, again, sorry, I keep calling on you to read.
It's fine.
Please tell the good people out there what happened next, as reported by the Discover magazine article called Blood and Fog.
Oh my God.
Well, that's the name of my next favorite Netflix 6-part special. I'm so nervous to read this. Okay, quote, a week after the sprain, 11 patients were admitted to the now defunct Stanford University Hospital in San Francisco with severe urinary tract infections.
Whoa!
Resistant to the limited antibiotics available in that area.
Resistant to antibiotics too.
One gentleman recovering from prostate surgery developed complications of a heart infection as sriracha colonized his heart valves.
Oh my God!
He would be the only death during the aftermath of this experiment. End quote. I don't know if y'all have had urinary tract. Well, first of all, he died from the heart thing.
Yeah.
But also, like, that's just so weird. Urinary tract infections are painful.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it was like in the 50s without, like, being able to take antibiotics.
Yeah. It's pretty.
It sounds trivial.
Right. Suck it up.
Yeah.
That gentleman's name, by the way, was Edward J. Nevin. Pour a bowl out for Edward. Now, remember, the people of San Francisco had no idea this experiment had happened. So when doctors at the Stanford University Hospital took samples of their patients' urine and saw this blooming on Petri dishes, they were fucking bewildered. I have a photo of an example of what they saw, if anyone wants to take a look of what this looks like. Yeah, go for it.
Oh,
Whoa.
no. Nope.
Oh
Nope.
my.
Absolutely not.
This is terrible.
Yeah, that was in someone's piss. Yeah, they didn't
It
know
looks like death. It's coming for us.
I mean, it looks like the computer generated graphic of the coronavirus. It's like
Yeah.
I thought it looks like a bowl of hot tamales.
yeah,
Or little Sudafeds.
it's so much more red than I was expecting it to be. Is that vermillion?
Yeah, so doctors were able to identify that their piss was riddled with sriracha, but they had no explanation how a water-loving bacteria, usually found in soil and toilets, got into these people. Yeah. My friends, this experiment accidentally or irresponsibly became the first recorded sriracha outbreak in microbiology history. So another round of applause for that accomplishment. American ingenuity.
Yeah.
Now, if you're wondering how this all came to light, please listen to episode 056 of Well, That's Interesting. I know, another shameless plug, I'm sorry. But I'll give you a super brief summary as to how we all know about this now. For some bewildering, unknown reason, the Church of Scientology requested a FOIA report, which exposed the New York City experiment.
Okay.
And that story got leaked to the press, which led to a U.S. Senate subcommittee hearing in 1977, where all the tea was spilled. Not only was Operation Sea Spray revealed and who was behind the New York City bioagent thing, perhaps the most disturbing of all what was revealed, the CIA admitted between 1949 and 1969, in just 20 years, Open-air tests of biological agents were conducted 239 times.
239 times.
Wait,
Yeah.
did they say where?
Great question. Great. I love it. Dr. Marisa, according to Wikipedia, can you give us 2 more examples of what was done in that time frame?
Yeah, usually I'm like so excited to read these quotes, but the more I learn about this, the more scared I get.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it happening right now? It's going to happen on the walk home.
I know.
All right. In the 1950s, Army researchers dispersed zinc and cadmium sulfide, now known as a cancer-causing agent, over Minnesota and other Midwestern states to see how far they would spread in the atmosphere.
Just to say.
It doesn't matter.
Let's fuck around and find out.
Continue with the quote, the particles were detected more than 1,000 miles away in New York State.
Wow.
Feeling great. In May 1965, secret release of Bacillus globigi, I think we've talked about this, at Washington's National Airport and its Greyhound bus terminal, more than 130 passengers were exposed to the bacteria. The bacteria traveled to 39 cities in 7 states in the 2 weeks following the mock attack, end quote.
Yeah.
Suck.
Seriously.
This sucks.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah. The Bacillus globigi, I think that was what was released in New York. So they used it multiple times. So
Great.
yeah. Again, all of these people had no idea they were carriers, and they had no idea they were being traced as well.
Oh my God! What this story? It's a journey.
Yeah, when I was writing it, I was just writing it. I was just saying it in my head, but now that I'm saying it out loud, it's even worse.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I
So
don't know what's more embarrassing, the fact that this happened over and over again, or the fact that one of the biggest cults in the world had to expose it.
yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. And we would
wild?
no one would know otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So strange. So I'm happy to report in consistent American fashion, no one faced accountability either.
Of course. Yeah.
So, yeah. And what can I say? This is why people believe in conspiracy theories. The end. I'm so sorry,
How do we
y'all.
all feel?
Seriously, this show, I mean, we've done so many of, well, not specifically like this, but we've talked about all these like weird experiments and like ideas that the CIA has had that some of them didn't put into place, but they were just like spitballing these, like they were trying to
Get Castro.
yeah, they were trying to get Castro.
Oh, yeah.
So they were like coming up with all these things where like, what if we release some like biological thing that like killed all the crops in Cuba? And like, well,
Or made it rain like a different color.
yeah.
And I'm like,
but what if something like that spread?
Yeah.
You can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're going to kill all the crops in Cuba and then the whole world, you know?
There's people everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
They're hard to miss.
Yeah.
There's crops everywhere.
Yeah.
There's crops. People eat them.
Yes,
That's the point
that they
of them.
do. Yeah, yeah. I mean, thankfully, they never
Yeah.
put it into place. But it's
They
just
didn't
like
have the
the fact that no
science
one was
back
like,
then,
wait, maybe that's not a great
Yeah.
idea.
There was one person who raised concern in that case, and it was like his concern wasn't for the people who would die, it was for him getting caught, like people finding out, like we shouldn't do this because this could come back to us.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah,
Yep.
he should have known that. Like, there wouldn't have been any consequences, so it would have been fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was eye-opening and mind-blowing,
Alarming.
as
well.
Yeah. But thank you for telling that story.
no, thank you.
This was a real treat.
Yes.
There's a lot of punch left,
I
so the
know.
drinks are not empty, but we will be emptying
Are
them.
definitely not empty. Our bowls aren't empty, I
Yeah.
should say. America's history is juicy. We just add a boatload of rum, orgeat, gin,
Fruit juice, white wine, everything.
everything.
Every alcohol.
jazzed up with some edible flowers. It's lovely. Thank you so much for listening to Beyond Reproach. This has been Stephanie Domingo.
And Tux Lurzel.
Thank you to Tim Clough, our editor, sound engineer, and podfather. We could not do this without him.
Facts are facts.
Yeah.
America. All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Beyond Reproach is proudly recorded in Bushwick, Brooklyn, on land belonging to the Lenape Nation. Please note we are not historians. We are just a couple of drunks who never shut up and love history. Full list of all source information can be found in the show notes on our website. Please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. Written reviews are especially important. If you like us, please do one of two things. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, or send this episode to a friend, family member, or someone who you think would be into it. Make sure you follow us on Instagram because we post our cocktail recipes the Thursday before each full episode. Please drink along with us if you are not driving. We also have a shop on beyondreproachpod.com. Get your merch, brand yourselves. We have exclusive content on Patreon where you can directly support the production of our show.